Okay, I have a 2004 Dodge Ram 1500 4.7 liter V8. The reason the hood up is because my truck broke down on the freeway as I was driving. What I mean by breakdown is just shut off. And, you know, when the truck is running on the freeway in the middle of the highway at nighttime and shuts off and doesn't want to crank back up, that's only pointing to a few things. Could be the crankshaft position sensor, could be the fuel pump, or it could be the alternator. But my battery was fine, headlights were working, everything didn't dim out. So I came up and I checked the fuses. Well, in the fuse box in the 04 has a little legend in here which shows you where things are. And it is showing me that the fuel pump fuse, which is this one, the 20 amp, needed to check that one, and the fuel pump relay, which is this one right over here. So what I did was I switched them out here and there. Nothing seemed to work. It would just crank, but would not start. But if I wanted to put some starting fluid in there, it would catch on. You know, it would run for a few seconds and then turn off. So at the end, it brought me to my main culprit, which was the fuel pump. I've already done the repair. I've already changed it out. It's right there. I already put in the new one. And I've already started it up. And just to show you that it does start up, where's the key? And before you actually want to close everything up, you want to make sure that the fuel gauge is working. So there it is, it's working, and now starts up just fine. And there's a few other methods of how to go about checking it. I mean, you could put in like a fuel gauge, fuel pump gauge, which is right there. It's working right now. It's right a little bit above 50 psi. That's because I started the truck. Should have just cranked it, but it's working now. I need to disassemble that and put everything back together. But here's the main thing. There's a bunch of videos about how to change that fuel pump. And there are also other videos which show you how to do it. Like, a couple of methods are by taking down the fuel tank and working it that way. In that way, you would have to, Zane, don't make noise. You would have to pretty much get underneath the truck. First of all, the filler neck, you would have to release these two, all right? And then you would have to unplug those while working yourself from underneath the truck. Or you could just do the straps. Or you could just undo the straps, lower the tank onto like a car jack or something, a floor jack, lower it down, and then try to fiddle with these in a blind spot, because that frame rail is going to be in the way, and you really can't go much further because you still have to disassemble these as well. But anyways, long story short is it can be done that way. Many people do it that way. But the way I did it was, first off, came in here, 1, 2, 3 Torx screws, boom. And that took my filler neck and everything down over here. And then there are only, on the Dodge Ram 1500s, what I've noticed, there's only 6 bolts. One's right there, other one's on the other side, right there. And don't forget, there is a ground cable right there which you need to release. So 2 in the front and the ground cable. And there are 2 towards the back. Well, I've got it all jacked up right now here, but here's where they are. One's underneath this railing right there, and one's underneath this one right there. Goes from the bottom, you can't miss them. So from the back, here, there, and one in the front. 3 on either side. Same on the other side. But before you want to raise up your cab, or sorry, your bed, you want to take out the tail lights. In order to do that, there's only, well, when you put down the tailgate, there's one Torx here and one down there. Slides out, undo the pigtail, and make sure that you have them hanging down here and not still running through the railing up there. While doing that, I've noticed that for ages, see what's going on here? This was flattened out underneath this. You could even see the print where it was, and it was squished up by the bed. Well, now I'm gonna see for damage, and at least I know what I'm looking at in case my tail light goes out one day and can't seem to get it on. But anyhow, undid all that. See the bolt there, 2 back here. And then I put my shoulder right there, raised it up, stuffed some 4x4s, one on each side to begin with. Then I came back, did the second one, and on the other side, I put a 6x6 because I need more room on this side. So if you look across, they're resting on here. And for added protection and advantage, put the engine hoist. All I did was grab from here, grab it from the other side, put the chain, jacked it up, and what it's doing is raised it up from here. So while the back end is raised, I sort of pushed it back as much as I could. See, it's touching right there. When you're doing it by yourself, it's kind of difficult. Had my wife give me a hand with a couple of things, but here we go. And that gave me just enough clearance between the cab and this to squeeze in here on my knees and do the job for my fuel pump. Easy enough. It seems that taking off the bed as compared to dropping the tank, no telling how much gas you got in the tank. Could be full tank, could be nothing. If you have nothing in there, go ahead and give it a try, but my tank was full. So that's the thing. It made it a lot easier to do it this way. And of course you have to compare up the fuel pump before you install it. Make sure everything fits the right way and it is the exact same pump. I ordered mine off of Amazon for $51. $51. Where is it? Okay. Well, don't know if you could tell, but I guess that's the code or whatever. But just look it up on Amazon. I paid $51 for it. Everything works good. Truck starts up. The fuel gauge is working. Everything is wonderful. So that's what you want to do. 6 bolts and 1 ground as compared to crawling under there, jacking up the truck, risking everything falling on you, is just to raise the damn bed. Well, I took this out as well. You know, that's just the brace for the fender right there, and screws in right there. But the whole point was just to make the job a lot easier, and it did. I guess the only task which I'm gonna have left is to line up the hole so I can bolt it back. That's about it. Good luck.